Um, you going?
Yeah, we're good. So for all you guys
Cool.
that just missed it, I lagged out of qualifying. Completely lagged out of qualifying. We are back.
I don't know if you just saw that, but I think I just saw both Ferraris just exit the pit simultaneously. That is some execution there by both
Majestic.
Risen and Justin. Now I don't know if the stream caught this before because I don't know when we blew up.
Oh, we blew up before
A little fun fact
before
here.
anyone got on track. We missed everything.
Yeah, so fun fact, I didn't realize this till now, but Leafs Justin is driving a Ferrari and is Canadian. And remember last year, or not, well, not until last year, last season, if anyone remembers from long ago, Kev Plays Gaming was another Canadian driving a Ferrari and ended up getting second, getting his first podium at his home track. So and Justin has been pretty quick in time trials. He's been up there. He did an 8.5 best in time trial. We'll see if he can replicate the success of Kev Plays Games and get his first podium, maybe even a win. Who knows? And another fun fact too is in real life F1, Gio Villeneuve got his first win in a Ferrari at this very track. He was Canadian, so this track seems to be fitting Canadians who drive Ferraris instead of Canadians who drive in Williams. So we'll see if success repeats itself again.
So back to the time trial board, not time trial, but qualifying board. Deluxe Cord on pole by about 4/10 over Recon, who's got about 4/10 over his teammate. Red Bull finally starting to look solid. Duke in 4th, Midnight in 5th. We'll see what kind of strategy he holds. Jupe in 6th and Dion in 7th. You guys are watching Skunk VTech, last week's winner, out on track. He's going to try to run a really good lap. I think he can do it. We'll have to see. He didn't have any dry practice. It was a lot of rain practice. He gets a 1:08.3.
Wow.
8/10 clear of the next guys. A really good lap by him. I think we're going to have a good fight for pole.
Yeah, it was a very great lap there by Skunk VTech, and the Mercedes an 8.3 is a pretty decent lap. Just 8/10 quicker than Deluxe Cord, who was on the Ultras. Deluxe Cord was, so Deluxe Cord probably can definitely get to the 1 minute 8 second barrier there along with Skunk. But very good lap early on, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I didn't see the whole of the lap, but I think there's definitely a lot of time to find for Skunk, and once again picking up where he left at China with his momentum, doing a great job so far. Provisional pole.
Look at this, Canadian power, Justin in 4th on his time, trying to rock a solid lap. And what he needs to do now, right?
And also another
go ahead.
Another notable is Combi Recon, 3rd place there in the Ultras as well. Pretty good effort by him so far. And Leafs Justin on the Ultra Soft tires has been 1 minute 9.6, so pretty decent lap there, half a second off of what Deluxe Cord did on his Ultras. Actually, speaking of that, Deluxe Cord's probably going to start his lap pretty soon on the Hypers, I believe. So let's actually go on board with him here. Entering the first corner, DRS closed, 4th gear, down to 3rd, then down to 2nd. For turn 2, very difficult, right-hander, difficult to get the power down. Now up to 6th gear, maybe 7th, puts down to 5th, nope, she 4th. Oh, that wasn't a very good chicane there. That pretty much ruined his lap. I don't know if he'll continue with it. Well, it seems like he is. Like down to 3rd gear. Okay with the throttle once again. This is a very difficult traction zone. Putting the DRS wide open now. Up to 8th gear now for this another difficult chicane here. Down to 4th gear. Pretty easy to cut the corner and extend. And just with every chicane, I'm going to say all the time, just requires a lot of throttle control. And I think he may have invalidated the zap. There he goes. And very tricky hairpin 2nd gear. Maybe 1st if you want to get the extra rotation. Putting the DRS now, the longest straight on the circuit. He's abandoned his lap, but that's a little, I wouldn't say hot lap of the circuit, but that's just an overview of what the circuit is like here.
We got Tactical Austin working his lap. Jupe up to 4th. He is now 109.6. He's really starting to roll with it too. So good lap by him. Probably my favorite guys in the Toro Rosso's favorite car to look at. They're up in 2nd and 4th. Red Bull's also doing well. Corporate teammates in 2nd and 6th. But Sauber not really up there. Austin is going to abandon his lap. Recon is does not look like he's pressing hard for this lap. Jupe might have something else in him as well. Actually, no, he's not. He's in mode 0 as well. So nobody's really on a power lap at the moment. You see Midnight back in
Just a little
9th.
heads up.
Really
Just a little
far
heads up. Real Steel was originally supposed to make this race. He was in the lobby, but his internet has gone down. So he was set to be here, but it's now a question mark as to whether or not he'll be able to race, which is going to be so unfortunate for this guy. He had a very unlucky race at China, got 8th, nowhere near where he wanted to finish, and that was the only race he's attended so far. So if he doesn't make it here, that'll be the 3rd race that he'll be missing out of the 4 that we'll be doing so far. So very unfortunate here, but who knows if we got about, what, 5 minutes left? I'm not looking at the timer, so there's still some time for him to get his internet working and back into the lobby, but it's going to be racing the clock right now.
Definitely, clock is ticking for him to try to get a time in, but everyone's really picking up on their laps. Duke and Midnight ran really early, and now they're sitting 8th and 9th. 2 people that we thought would be doing really well. As you see, Recon, he narrowly clips the grass right there. Now he's going to go full power right here down this long straightaway. He might try to get a toe off of Dion. See if he can do that. I think he's too far out of the range. Remember, this guy has a pole at Monaco, so he's no stranger of qualifying up front. Now he rolls through the final chicane. He's going to throw everything to the wall. Coming across the line, I don't think it's going to be a pole lap. And he improves a little. It's not enough to get in position.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure guys like Justin, who did his lap on the Ultras, might knock that time down. As Duke the Rebels crashed in Sector 1. That is heartbreak for the Sauber driver. Not where he wanted to be. That was the first time ever set, I think, and Midnight as well. So absolute catastrophe for those 2. I think actually Midnight may have called it quits there, because seeing enough of Midnight, he usually tends to qualify the back on purpose just to warm himself up throughout the race. So I don't know if he got involved, but same for Duke the Rebel. He definitely there was definitely a second he could chip off his lap time. So definitely not where he wants to end up, but you know, that's what the race is for. He's got 35 laps in order to get to where he needs to be. On board of Dion here in the final straight, and hit the final chicane here using 4th gear.
Oh!
Whoa! Loses the back end out of the chicane. See if he's going to improve in his lap. Improves on it by about 0.3, but not enough to gain him any spots. 9th place, a full second ahead of Dion. So he's definitely not in the best position right now.
The Deluxe Court is out there.
On board of Leafs Justin now on a lap.
Yeah, both of these guys are on laps. Deluxe Court going down the final straight. Trying to get as much time as he can through here. Last week he showed a lot of promise in qualifying. He actually did get pole, if you count the penalty. But now he's going to have to do a lot more in order to get pole here. He comes down the final straightaway. It's going to be close, but not enough. It's going to be
not enough.
4/10 out. And that's definitely going to end his qualifying run. He's got no fuel left in the car. That is his bout over. Now we have Justin with about 100 seconds left on the clock. You know he's definitely going to try to get one more time in. He shifts all the way down. Exits 4th gear.
Over revving the engine like a madman too. On the other hand, I don't know if you can hear that, but he is. I don't know. He must have that engine must have a death wish. So he's trying to kill it. I mean, that's a bit over excessive there. I wouldn't be trying to strain the engine like that. But here he goes. Start finish line.
That's the second.
Up to second.
How about that?
Major improvements from China. He was all the way back at the back of the field, you know, last week. Now he's in second provisionally. Fantastic run there by Justin, the Canadian, at his home track. So I couldn't get my words out for for some reason. Now on board of Skunk VTech now, from what I will imagine, will be the pole lap. It's in the session second gear now. Turn 2, short shift up to third just to get the better traction. All the way up to potentially, nope, keeps it in 6th. Momentarily in 4th of chicane, very nice there, not cutting any of the corners. And the sector 1 now down to 4th gear for this left-hander. Jupes out of the session. Careful on the throttle. DRS open now for this little mini straight. Keeps it in 7th gear. Gonna put it down to 5th. Oh, he spun it. Doesn't get any damage. I don't think he does. He may have some wing damage, but hasn't lost his wheels. But that his improvement lap gone down the drain. That's the 2nd week in a row now where he messed up his quality laps. That's absolute shambles for the Mercedes driver. But still stays on pole position for the moment.
The 2 Red Bulls right
actually going on board a recon now.
Behind the other. If Austin calls quits on his lap, which he's definitely not, maybe a little bit of a toe through there, but they're going to keep it together. Both of them trying to get anything better on their lap times.
I think I heard them talking before. I think Austin's going to try give Recon some slipstream. They were talking about that before the race. Gain some extra time. I think that's what they're going to try and do. Doesn't look like Austin's doing that, though.
Both of them are really on a lap here. That's what I'm assuming. Here comes Austin in the final turn. Hits it pretty nicely. Coming to the line. Can Austin pick up on his lap time at all? He does, up to 4th. I'm not sure where Recon went, though.
I think Recon just got 4th, too. Yeah, he did. Recon
well, then,
him.
They both overshoot Jude. And that is how qualifying ends.
Wow. That was great stuff there by the 2 Red Bulls, getting 4th and 5th. Just Recon just nips him right to death there. But Skunk VTech, your pole sitter by 0.4 of a second over Leafs Justin with amazing improvement from last week. And Ferrari in 2nd and Deluxe Cord in 3rd.
We got some really good drivers out here tonight. VTech, Deluxe Cord, Justin, newcomers. You got Recon and Austin, who are the veterans of this league. Although Duke and Midnight, especially Midnight, our championship leader, already going to have to start from the back. Nothing new to him, but he's definitely going to have to drive it through the field. Kind of like Kyle Busch. He's going to have to drive it through and hope he can get some solid points and stay ahead. Anyways, speaking of which, let's look at the point standings. We have Midnight ahead at KSI by 1. Austin is 6 behind Midnight. And
we got 2 little issues here.
About 26
there's a car on top of another car in the distance. I don't know who it is. I literally saw one car humping another car. And the other big noticeable thing is that there is rain.
This time we don't wait to call it out. It's raining, and from what I saw in forecasts, it could rain the entire race, which is completely different from what anyone expected. So we're gonna see who's the best Senna out there in this race.
That is right there. I don't think we're gonna have enough time for point standings at the moment because we're gonna get straight into the race. But here we go. 4 and now 5 red lights. And away we go with the Canadian Grand Prix. Skunk VTech gets off to a pretty decent start there.
Oh, Red Bulls!
Still maintains
first.
Red
Bulls are
Red
off
Bulls.
turn 1.
Absolute calamity there. Calamity corner, turn 1 for both the Red Bulls. 8th and 10th now. Also getting the worst of it. Big notable here, Dion makes up 5 places on the start. Oh my goodness, didn't see that. No. Wow. Skunk VTech just missed him. That was insane there, and Justin gets both a 3-second penalty and a 5-second stop go at the same time. Oh, this is not what he wants. This is home track, up to a good start, but then just messes it up immediately at the end of Sector 1.
Craziness on the opening lap. Throughout now, it is VTech, Deluxe Core, Jupe in 3rd, Dion and Midnight fighting for 4th. Midnight's gonna get him. On the exit of the hairpin, Recon in 6th, Duke right behind him in 7th, Raichu in 8th, Austin in 9th, and Justin in 10th. Bad start for Red Bull, bad start for Justin, but a great start for the Toro Rossos. Both of them on podium right now.
Oh, Dion would try. He's had a peek there for Midnight, but Midnight closing the door on him. They both gained 5 places on the start. A really great start for both of them, but Recon side by side with Dion going into turn 1. Dion gonna hold it. Recon goes a bit wide. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Rebel on the outside. He's not gonna gain as much time as I thought he would. You know, sometimes the outside line, as Dion, I think he's
let them by.
I think he's just gonna let them by. He knows that he's not doesn't have quite the pace to contend to them. I don't know. I would have tried to hold on to that position. He's gonna make a move on the inside.
Bold move. He's gonna take it away.
He's gonna make it stick. Dion dropping like a rock right now. He's gonna, yeah, he's, whoa, almost hits the wall there. He's gonna be all the way down in 10th again. A lot of action right now in the midfield. Duke the Rebel hounding Recon, and also Riachu's in that battle as well. Duke the Rebel's gonna make a dive bomb for 5th.
Oh.
Make it second. Whoa, we're gonna be 3 wide pretty soon.
These two go side by side.
Now, Duke the Rebel. Riachu in mode 3. Yeah, actually was in mode 5 for a little bit on that straight. Skunk V-Tech, they're getting fast lap of the race with 21 dead. Pretty noble lap there by him. Pulling, streaking away from Deluxe Cord to Toro Rosso in 3rd. Little Juke up in 3rd, so it's a 2-3 right now for both Toro Rossos, double podium. So very great effort by both the drivers. And Bridge of Midnight now just hanging in there, trying to save as much as he can. This battle for 5th is going to heat up soon as Recon goes a little bit wide. Rebel right in the back of him. Oh, Deluxe Cord spun it.
Oh, Deluxe.
He's lost a bit of his wing as well. I think it's his front right end plate is missing. Not a good start. He was in 2nd there. That's the 2nd week in a row now where he's had in the first hit of the race. But he has made some pretty good comebacks, so don't be surprised to see him fight his way back through the field. But it'll be much harder now in the rain where people will be on the same compound tires. Whoa, that Austin there? Wow, almost makes a double overtake in the hairpin.
He was defending on Justin, almost passed right into in the process.
He's going to get by him pretty soon. Here we go. He's going to be side by side. Nope, not quite. Actually, I was wrong. That was just a bit of my Marty Reed shenanigans going on there. But it just seemed to break a little later. Actually, Riachu got a 3-second time penalty. That's another notable I didn't mention about. As Deluxe Cord speeds in the pit lane, corner cutting penalties are going to be a big factor in this race. All the Desert Kings, like the Wall of Champions, it's so easy to cut these corners, and all those warnings accumulate to time penalties, and that could make or break the difference between you getting a position or potentially winning the race.
Indeed, we've seen that happen a lot this season where corner cutting penalties will cost the people positions. It might happen again this week. Looks like everything's a little more calm now in the midfield. Let's say that too soon, though.
Yeah, it's kind of calmed down a little bit, but I'm sure I don't know if the rain will get harder, but when the rain gets harder, it'll definitely start to amp up a little bit.
Deluxe Cord.
Deluxe Cord's retired. That's a shame for the Toro Rosso drivers. Had a pretty reasonable qualifying effort in 3rd. Now it's all over for him. I think he'll still get a point though, since there are only 10 guys racing. So that's a real shame for him. He was doing a good job there, along with his Toro Rosso teammate, as Recon gets a 3-second time penalty as the virtual safety car's out.
Well done. That's the 2nd one this season.
Yeah, I think that is the 2nd one this season. So pretty much what these guys got to do is they got to stay within a delta, can't exceed it. If they do exceed it, they'll get a penalty. The safety car isn't out, hence the name, virtual safety car. And that's been triggered by Deluxe Cord leaving this session. And that tends to be a common trend. If people leave the session, that'll trigger a safety car of some sort, which is a bit bizarre. I don't know why that's the case, but it is what it is.
Anyways, let's talk about that lead, Skunk VTech. When the virtual safety car ends, he's going to have a humongous lead over Jupe and company. So he's got to be really happy. This could be 2 weeks in a row with a fantastic performance.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it's only been that 5 though, so you can't count anyone else out of the equation yet. But fantastic start so far to the race. Just in another zip code as this virtual safety car ends. Yeah, he's just been doing a fantastic job. He's actually lost about 2 seconds from that virtual safety car, so that's not really good for him. But you know, knowing the gap he's already built out, I'm sure he'll build it right back up. Got a little battle here for 5th place.
Duke messed up on exit. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, he didn't get as great of a chicane. Riatu just swings up by him, and Duke's gonna make a little look there. He won't get the position. Riatu captures 5th place for the moment. However, he's been slowly improving over the course of this season. He's been getting better and better, and it's starting to show here in the rain.
Absolutely.
Duke Rebel. Actually, he's gaining quite a bit of time, Riatu, extending his lead a little bit, but Duke Rebel keeping him within his sights. But Kami Recon doing a pretty nice recovery so far. Already up to 4th place where he started, and is slowly gaining time on Risen Midnight in the Ferrari. Almost called him a Sauber there. It's hard to differentiate between the 2 reds. Yeah. I think someone got a lead. Justin, did he get a penalty, I believe?
Yes.
I think I just saw a notification there.
No, I think
he
it
got
was
a penalty
Duke.
there.
Both Duke and Justin got recent
Oh,
penalties.
Duke. Right. But yeah, I think Risen Midnight's been using ZR ERS in the corners and 4 on the straights. A very interesting tactic by him, and another notable as well. Just a lot of stuff I gotta say. When it rains, the consumption is nowhere near as big as when it is in the dry, because of course you're going slower and you can afford to run that hot lap.
Oh man, he messed up his entry into turn 1, went off track, was able to keep it without any damage, and hasn't lost any time to ride it too. What a performance by him as Recon taps the wall on the exit of the first chicane. I don't think there's any wing damage.
I think he's got away with it.
Had a pretty good
I think
drive.
he got away with it. Yeah, but as I was saying before, it's ERS, you can afford to run hot lap ERS for a little bit. Not the whole time, of course, because, you know, I mean, it consumes a lot of ERS. You don't have an unlimited supply of ERS, but definitely is a good opportunity for you to start to flex your muscles a little bit around here. Speaking of Recon, he's been gaining a lot of time on the mistake has lost a lot of time, but he's been gaining quite a bit of time on Risen for 3rd place. But bear in mind, Recon does have a 3-second time penalty that'll go towards his overall time. As Lil Jupe goes in the pits there, let's see what he does. I don't know if this will be a tire change as such. Actually, it's a wing change for Lil Jupe, so that's pretty interesting. Still stays on the intermediate tires, and off and away.
If that was solely for a wing change, that's not a very good sign. That means he probably will have to either stretch his tires or pit again. And he already loses time for a wing change, so we'll see how the race develops for him, but he's already in a hole, which is unfortunate because he made up so much to start the race. Had moved up 4 positions to start. The only other guy to have moved up more was Midnight.
I don't know about you if you're seeing the same thing I am seeing, but it's definitely raining much harder now than what it was before. I originally thought that Lil Jupe was going to go into wets, but apparently that wasn't the case. So we got to keep an eye on these guys and see if it's the correct time to go into wets, because at the moment it looks like it's the rate at which the rain is going down. It's definitely looking like Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Skunk VTEC has a new fast lap of a 19.8. It originally looked like that, but maybe it was just a little too. Maybe it wasn't as damp as before. Maybe these tires are coming into their own. I don't know. It's something that's very hard to distinguish in these F1 games when it's the right time to switch wet compounds. But it seems like these inters are starting to get better and better.
Yeah, you are correct. It is definitely starting to pour. VTEC doesn't seem to have a problem with it, though. He continues to streak away with this race.
Yeah, Recon is. The gap's becoming a little stagnant now between him and Midnight. It goes on a little bit, but Midnight seems to gain a lot of his time in the first sector, and Recon seems to gain a lot in the third sector by the looks of it. So. It's all up to him, and a little bit in the second sector now. Recon still continues to gain more and more time. But Recon's a pretty aggressive driver. He tends to hang it all out there. But he's at this point, there goes my point. He just, yeah, he is. They just use that a lot on the exit out of the hairpin. These wet conditions are no joke, and they're very difficult. Loses up to a second and a half potentially on Midnight. So. He needs to keep it calm, keep it patient. He may have a time penalty at the end of the race, but you gotta beware. You gotta look at the bigger picture. And that's the race, because he could be in fight for a podium right now.
Yeah, he's currently got third place, and he's got a good gap over Wright to Duke, Austin, and Justin. And although these four have separated just a little, they're still pretty close to each other.
Was Recon hits the wall again, using that wall a lot. But yeah, the midfield is looking pretty dicey at the moment. Duke holding his own there with Austin. You know, Austin's pretty known for thriving in these conditions. Duke is starting to fade a little bit now, but Duke's doing a pretty good job hanging out in fifth. I mean, it's been a rough start of the season for him. Just this new game for him. I think he's trying manual gears, so it's a difficult barrier to break. And also, you know, the whole ERS situation, he has difficulty with that. I think he has, what does he have? I don't remember, but this game has just been a difficult transition for him. ADHD, I think he has, yeah. So it's a very difficult transition for him. On top of that, fuel management. So he's doing a great job out there, but you know, this hasn't been the season he's been having so far. But there's the rest of the season. There's Recon speeds in the pit lane as people are going into the pits. Yep, there we go. Like I said, I called it. It's definitely getting harder out there, and it's risen Midnight on the wet compound tires.
Recon is still in pit road. He is still in his box. That's not a good sign.
And he's left the session. I'm gonna go try and find him back. I don't think that was a rage clip by any chance, but that was pretty bizarre. And Skunk VTEC's got such, look at this, Skunk VTEC's got such a lead where Tactical Austin and Neefs Justin are like 10 seconds behind Skunk still, and they haven't even pit, and they're on the inters. Like, that is the lead that Skunk has already built, and Skunk has got, I think, a 17-18 second lead already on Midnight, so he is in a world of his own now in these wet weather conditions, and it's great to see someone with that kind of talent thrive in the rain. Now, one guy who's gonna be kicking himself right now is Lil Juke, because he had to pit a few laps ago for a wing change and pitted for the inters, and he's gotta be thinking, oh man, just pitted a few laps ago, now I gotta pit again for these wet tires, you know? That's a real bummer there. If I were him, I would have put the wet tires on, thrown a gamble, and you know, it didn't seem like he wanted to take it, and that's just a real shame. I don't know if he'll be pitting soon. Let's see, he's on the back straight. No, he isn't pitting, so very interesting call by there. Maybe he's enjoying the inters out there, but man, that's just a real bummer for him, as both Tactical Austin and Leaf Justin are going into the pits. Austin already has done his pit stop and on the wet tires.
Justin must have had an issue down pit road too.
He may have had a wing change. Actually, no, he had a stop go. he had to stop go because I remember the first lap incident, he got a corner cutting penalty for that. So that's a real shame for him. Started off so well. Now yeah. But we're not even halfway yet, so there's plenty of time for a safety car to come out, bunch the whole field up. Plenty of time also. There's these conditions.
Third.
He's making a mistake. Oh wow, we got a battle up here for third place. You're right.
Battle for third, battle for fifth.
Struggling.
Talk about midfield.
You gotta look at the battle for third here. Lil Juke is struggling on these inters. Definitely not the right tires to be on. Riyadh gonna be what'll turn to the outside for this hairpin. See if he's gonna do it. Oh, it's close.
Oh, he turns
out a bit, hits the wall a bit. Great defending there by Lil Juke. I thought for sure that Riyadh would get the place, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Now remember, no DRS because it is wet conditions. So it's going to be based on pure straight line speed. Riyadh going to look to the inside now.
Jupe's coming in.
As Lil Jupe actually goes into the pits. So he didn't have to really fight too hard for that one. But once more, going to compliment him once again. Riyadh, great race going for him so far. Hopefully I won't be jinxing him, but every race he just seems to get better and better and is just once again fulfilling that so far. Up at the third place, holding off Duke the Rebel and Tactical Austin for a podium spot.
Brianna's making pace. Pit stop as we speak.
Surprised Austin hasn't made as many places as I think his conditions seem to be better for him, but it seemed to be the case so far. It seems like everyone else is stepping up their game and just hasn't been able to get past Duke. I mean, Duke is no slouch as well. Duke's a very good driver, but it seems like based on recent form, Austin's been having the upper hand. He hasn't gotten past Duke, but maybe these ones are starting to favor Duke more as we have a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't know what that was for. I don't know what their sector 3 flag for. I'm just trying to scroll through as we. Never mind. I'm going
as we speak.
Yeah.
Down to the inside, broke the 200-mile-an-hour barrier, side by side in the chicane. Lots of contact. Duke gets a 3-second time penalty. There's still one behind the other. Austin's not going to be happy with that move. They're both at mode 5. Austin's going to go to the outside. Now the inside line in turn 1 for fourth place. Oh, he moves him off the track a little. Austin, as we were talking about him, for the moment, has fourth place, but Duke's not going to give it up just yet. Watch for Duke to give it in there for fourth place. Austin's going to try to defend that well. So far, he's doing a good job, but Duke's going to be right behind him as usual. There's still one behind the other. None of them giving an inch. Now Duke to the inside. He's going to make a dive bomb move. Austin clears him to the turn again, and now Austin's going to drive away with the position, but both of them losing a lot of progress to the guy to third.
That was a great battle there. It's like picking up where we left off before at China with Skunk VTech and Midnight. That was great. Lil Jupe still in the inters. That's a very odd choice there. That's probably what the yellow flag's been for. He's still on those intermediate tires. A very odd decision. I thought for sure he was going to pit for those compound tires, but maybe not. Maybe the team isn't changing compound. I don't understand that decision there, but. Going back to that battle there, Austin now pulling away from Duke the Rebel. Clearly the third not in Austin's favor before. Now he's got a clear road ahead of him to thrive on and try and pass Riyadh, but Riyadh seems to be doing a pretty decent job in third so far. 4.5 seconds, 4.6 seconds ahead of Austin now in fourth place, but Duke isn't giving up yet. He's still right behind him. Less than half a second behind in sector 1. See if he can maintain that. Seems like in the traction zone this is where Duke's starting to lose him a little bit. Braking, it seems like.
Traction is really starting to help him compared to Duke on full traction. That might be what's the difference right now in this race. But now Austin has to go out there and run down Riot 2 in third place. Now, if anyone watched the tryouts, you will know Tactical Austin had to run down Riot 2 to try to win the race. And I do believe Raitu had a 3-second time penalty, and in this race, he might have one. Checking right now, he does have a 3-second time penalty. Tactical Austin is clean. So once again, he's trying to get within 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's just deja vu all over again. It's, as you say that, the commentator's curse happens. Austin's now got a 3-second time penalty, so yet again, so that's unfortunate there for the Red Bull driver. Just, you know, having these bad luck moments happen to him a lot. But now he's gonna have to try and gain out and Raitu on the track, not through penalties. And Raitu is not losing any time to Austin at all. If anything, the gap has been stagnant. Austin gaining time here and there a little bit, but not big enough to have a battle in about 5 or so laps. So Raitu really putting on a good show for the Renault gang so far in Canada.
Yeah, Renault had some decent success last season with Tactical Austin. He was on Renault in the previous season, got a lot of runner-ups. Rick, shout out to him as well. He did have some pretty good performances, a few podiums here and there. Really was the reason why Renault got third in the Constructors, and then this year, they're trying to do the same thing, get to third, but it's been difficult. You got McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, Sauber, Red Bull, Toro Rosso. You have all these competitive teams out there. And he's trying to get themselves up there again. And we'll have to see what happens. Right now, he's doing a fantastic job in third place. I thought I cursed him there through the final chicane. But overall, he's doing a pretty good job out there, up in third place. Glad to see him doing well. But anyways, we are on lap 17 of 35, and we are close enough to do our little halfway break. Here's our breaking down race recap. Skunked VTEC comfortably on pole. Almost loses it through the chicane, but he's able to keep it going pretty nicely. He has built up a huge gap. The gaps has been a little stagnant for the past few laps, but nonetheless, still a great race for him. An overall solid performance. He will be looking to win his second race in a row. We have Risen Midnight in second place as Duke goes down the road. Midnight is sitting in second place. If the results hold now, this will be his third runner-up finish in a row. Unfortunately, he hasn't had any wins, but very solid season so far. He will increase his points lead if it ended now. I think the next closest guy would be Tactical Austin, who is sitting, or who would be sitting around 20 points back, as Jupe gets a time penalty. Unfortunate for him. But in third place, as I mentioned earlier, we have Raitu, as he gets a time penalty. Well then, the time penalties are starting to stack. But Raitu currently sits third. He will be looking to hold that. Right now, he needs to stay 3 seconds ahead of Austin in order to keep that position. He's 5 seconds ahead at the moment, doing a fantastic job. The first 3 races hasn't really gone the way he wanted to, and he's been pretty vocal about that, but he's been able to turn it around in this race and is having a very solid performance. In fourth place, Tactical Austin, and he's in that boat to try to win the championship. He's competed in all 4 races and has been pretty consistent through them. Has had a little bit of luck not go his way, especially the past few weeks. In this race with that unfortunate start with his teammate, but he will definitely be looking to maybe run down Ryan to get a podium and keep himself close in the championship fight. In 5th place, we have Duke the Rebel, and hasn't really been the best season for him to start off. He's sitting 4th in points. I think he will hold 4th. He might drop to 5th after this race, depending on how VTEC does, but Duke's kind of in his own little bubble right now. In 5th place, he knows he's been wanting to change the automatic shifting to increase his concentration on his actual precision. Right now, it seems to be somewhat working, but I know he's definitely going to be wanting to be up there fighting for the win. In 6th place, we have Justin. Pretty solid race for him so far. Qualified second. An early lap incident really cost him in penalties and time, and now he's sitting in 6th place. He's been catching Duke though, so I won't be surprised if he's able to be there at the end. In 7th place, we have Call Me Recon 7, and the bad luck strikes him again. That incident on lap 1, able to drive up to 3rd, and then a speeding penalty out pit road really costed him. He is now sitting 7th on the board, pretty far behind Justin. I don't know if he has anything else left in the tank for now, but you know he's going to keep pushing for 17 more laps. Dion sits 8th on track. Been a pretty quiet day for him. He was up in 4th for a while, but has sort of fallen back to 8th place. He'll definitely be looking to keep it clean the rest of the race and finish in that position. And we have Jupe in 9th, who did just go a lap down to VTEC. He started off high roll in 2, up in 2nd, then a wing change and a couple of bad tire callouts have cost him. And now he's sitting in 9th place. I said on the first lap that Toro Rosso was really flying, and then now you see they're both 9th and 10th. So commentator curse part, I don't know how many times this happened. And Deluxe Cord in 10th place. He had a good run to start, up in 2nd, but an early spin really costed him, and I think maybe a crash out is what to blame of his DNF. But anyways, that is your through the field. 16 laps to go here in Montreal, Canada. Let's see if VTEC can hold on.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been in the class of his own today. He's just 23 seconds out in the lead. There's just nothing that can affect him really at this point, except maybe for a safety car too, but just been doing an amazing job out in front, really proving to us that he is a potential champion in the future as he gets a 3-second time penalty. So, not great there. I mean, we all get 3-second time penalties. This is a very difficult track to be clean at, so it's unfortunate for him. But just nevertheless, it's been an absolute dominant force so far in this race.
Yeah, VTEC picking up where he left off last week and is truly having the race of the year so far for him. A lot of penalties assorted. Austin pits in 4th. This will probably be his final stop. Not sure what tire he's going to go to.
Pretty odd decision there, actually. He's going to go on the inters.
Inters.
He's going for the inters.
This is a long run strategy for sure. I think Austin has the ability. If he can undercut.
I think there actually, I've noticed too, I can see it visibly. I wasn't focusing until he's actually made that pit stop, but the rain has started to diminish. So I think what Austin's trying to do, he's seeing this opportunity to go back to the inters and see if he can gain some time on guys that can react to for podium place, but gonna have to keep an eye on his lap times and see if he can make any inroads on anyone. As he goes a bit wide there in a chicane, I don't know. Tires are quite up to temperature yet. We're gonna have to keep an. Seems to be really struggling out there. Actually, he's having. I mean, of course, the weather, it's gonna be difficult to put the power down, but it seems like he's crawling there. It's like he's in an actual boat here.
Oh, Recon goes off in the chicane. I will say
having
this,
a good day
is
for Recon. Was
Justin.
3rd place.
He's making time. And Justin got a huge run on Duke. Look at this.
Oh wow, I didn't even see this before. There we go.
Now he's gonna let off. This is telling me that he might come to pit road. Nope, they both stay out.
Nope.
But yeah, Justin on the late charge.
I've been seeing Duke. He's been making a lot of mistakes recently. The past few laps, he's been just being way too aggressive on the throttle out of the corners. Even though he has full traction control, it still can be pretty easy to get the car sideways.
Flags are going off, so for all you people in the fan booth, that's a word. I was just trying to see what was going off. Where Justin almost loses it through that right-hander.
Wow.
As he did in lap 1. Duke having issues in the chicane. This might open up the run for Justin. He's going to be right on him. Duke goes to the right to block. I think it may have been a good call. I don't know if it's a good call, but it may have worked. Justin holds in 5th.
Oh, he got a crash in the wall of champions. Sorry to interrupt. Bill Chip spins it. So does Recon. Keep going. Sorry.
Oh, Recon's retired from the session.
Yeah. Oh, Justin on the outside outbrakes himself hard. keeps it in 4th gear somehow. I'm not sure why. I don't know why he did that, but that's a very interesting call there. He gets a massive run out of the hairpin, side by side of Duke the Rebel. Last season's runner-up. Can he get the move done? He has.
He does.
He's got
Justin up to
Wall of
4th.
Champions.
That might propel him up into 3rd.
That might as well, because everyone started going to intermediate tires now. A good bold move there by Tactical Austin. See where he feeds out.
How much time he lost.
Oh, yeah, 2. He's going to come out ahead. Tactical Austin, 2.5 seconds now. Actually, no, 3 seconds behind. So that was 3 seconds gained.
A gain. He did make a couple gains there, and now those two are going to be fighting for that podium position. We still have the fight for 3rd, though. On track. Duke is not giving up. The Riot 2 is catching both of them. Oh, Duke
Bear in mind, Riyadh has 2 time penalties, and Austin has 1. So technically, if where the end is now, Austin would get the place over Riyadh. Anyway, look at the speed difference now that Riyadh has over Duke the Rebel and leaves Justin. He's just got way more confidence on the throttle. The tires are throughout the whole track, just much quicker. He's gonna try and make a move now. Duke the Rebel would be pretty risky because I'd imagine Duke would be going to the pits.
He's going to the bottom of the block. I don't know if that's a smart call.
Duke doesn't pit.
Duke's gonna stay on another lap. Almost loses it. He saves it. Riot 2's gonna make the pass for 3rd. Now you're gonna see Austin come into the picture. Now Austin's got to make that pass too.
Definitely wasted a lot of time for Riyadh. Now Austin's about a little less than 2 seconds behind Riyadh. Not what he wants to see, because bear in mind he has to keep a 3-second cushion to Austin in order to maintain a podium position. And in those pit stops, Risen Midnight's actually gained 2 seconds from Skunk VTech, so may have been a wing change by Skunk, or Skunk may have hit it a little early. I didn't quite see what's going on there at the front, but Skunk's starting to increase that gap though, so it's not too big of a deal for him. He's got 21.5 seconds gapped at Midnight. He is not at all going to challenge him anytime soon.
And
as Austin takes P4 away from Duke Rebel.
Take the 3.5-second threshold.
Yeah, there was a pretty big battle there for P4 between Austin and Duke, as Austin's gotten the place. Now he can go all out now and try and catch Riyadh for these final 10-11 laps. And he can use a little bit of hot lap or overtake ERS if he so needs to, because remember, it is wet conditions. The ERS consumption is significantly less than what it would be in the dry, so he can do that. As Duke Rebel goes into the pits now. Gonna change to inters, I'd imagine. And Luchup's only ever been on the inters so far this race, which I find very bizarre. He never changed to the wets at all. Maybe he probably knew something we didn't. He probably knew that there was going to be inters for this final part of the race. So, very interesting there. This Austin's lost a lot of time now to Riyadh.
Oh!
Looking to be, as Duke the Rebels crashed
Duke is out of the race.
He leaves the session. Will this trigger a car? That is the question.
Yeah,
that would be pretty big for guys like... I don't think it will. That's pretty lucky then. for Skunk VTech at least, that's pretty lucky. As he goes and sets the fastest lap of a 1:19. Definitely in a cloud now. I don't even think he's really pushing anymore. He's in mode 1 at the moment, just saving everything he's got. I think that lap he was actually pushing. Now he's trying to save again for a few more laps. Okay, just look at his driving. Look at Skunk. He's just so smooth, so delicate on the throttle. Just kept in the 5th there. Let's get that better traction out of these traction-heavy chicanes. And look at this. He's gonna slide a little bit, but he controls it in a way where he won't lose so much time. Very great driving by the Frenchman. Keeps it in 2nd here, which is just watch the throttle. short shifts just to help the traction and then puts it down. It's perfect. No wheel spin at all.
And he's in a class in the hill, and he's in another zip code, he's in
And
everything.
he's not even pushing. Look at that. He's not even using ERS at this point. He's just cruising. And he's still maintaining a reasonable gap to Midnight. Using higher gears, low revs, just trying to get there to the finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, we could definitely be seeing our Season 2 F1 champion out here leading this race, but we could also see our Season 2 F1 champ running in second place. We haven't given a lot of shout outs to Midnight, but for the 4th race in a row, he's able to drive from an unoptimal qualifying position and is on the podium spot again in second place. This is going to increase his point lead. At the moment, he would be 12 points ahead of Tactical Austin in the championship battle, and Midnight is really trying to show off what a Ferrari driver can do. He's doing a good job out there. He's running a great race in second place. He hasn't really made time on VTEC, but he's been able to keep a good gap to Riot 2, who's doing well in third. And he's trying to pull away from Austin, who's in fourth, and he's trying to stay ahead of Justin, who's in fifth. Because Justin, right now, is rolling with some pretty good lap times. And he only has that 1-second time penalty. He might have another one, but from what I'm seeing, it may have been the only one at the start. No, he does have another. Okay, so he has... Alright, so he does have 6 seconds in time penalty. But Justin, still solid performance for him to be running in the top 5 right now. So good work for him.
I don't even think Austin really has to worry about Leafs Justin because he's 11 seconds behind, and honestly that gap's starting to level out a bit now. I don't think he has to worry too much about him. I think he just got to focus on Riyadh 2, who's at 5 and a bit seconds ahead. That's going to be a very difficult gap to close, as Ride 2 is definitely proving himself here today in these wet weather conditions. And it's definitely becoming a challenge for Austin to catch up to. But what was I going to say? Actually, I think there's going to be a battle soon for P6 between Miljup and Dion here. Yeah, there we go. I think there must have been a
Riot
pass.
2 gets a
3 gets another!
Oh, Jupe's in the wall!
Hey, he's lost a bit of weight there. Not ideal for the Toro Rosso driver.
Now
He's doing
Austin's
a pretty
got
good
7
job. It was in
tenths.
second momentarily. Now he's just using his wings now. Now let me just double check. Let me look at the penalties again now, just to make sure that I'm not going crazy or anything. Yes, that's Riyadh 2's 3rd penalty, and Austin still has 1. But if Austin were to get 1 more warning, he would have his 2nd time penalty. So he needs to be absolutely perfect. He needs to hit his marks, because at this point he would get P3, because now with the situation, Riyadh 2 needs over a 6-second cushion to maintain 3rd place. So he's going to need to rely on Austin to make a mistake, and he's going to need to rely on himself, because he has been proving to us that he has got the pace to really keep Austin at bay, and he's got to make sure that he can find another second or 2 and try to keep 3rd place.
Now Riot 2's approaching a couple of backmarker drivers. He has to run a high line to pass Dion. That might give Austin an advantage.
Actually, you're right. Austin, Justin is posing a little bit on Austin. That still shouldn't concern him, though. He's only about 10 seconds back. Justin gaining a second since we last saw him before. But yeah, Austin now putting the gap down to it was momentary 4.5 seconds. Now it's gonna be around 4.7 now. Yeah, 4.7 seconds. Race has been pretty quiet throughout the majority of the race. I think the track's looking very dry at the moment. I mean, there's a little bit of sprinkles here and there, but I don't think. I want to say it looks like it could be dry weather soon, but it's still misting a little bit, actually. Well, actually, from this angle, it's still kind of raining a bit, so I think we're gonna just be a full wet race the whole way. I was really tempted to say we might have a little dry set at the end, but I think at this point, there's just no point. I think the rain's not gonna go down. It's just gonna be the wrong tire to be on.
For these past 10 laps or so, it's really been monitoring that gap for third. And right now, Austin, once again, as before, has it intense, but Riot2's holding his own for sure. No shame for either of these drivers after today's race.
Yeah, we gotta watch that little pop-up. It does pop up. For one, if Austin, gets another penalty, because then that puts Rad2 in an easier situation. Then he won't have to worry so much about him, because then he'd only have to have a 3-second gap now. But Rad2 needs 8 more tenths, and he can say he's a podium sitter in the F1 league in Shake and Bake in general. But Austin's slowly closing that gap now, and there we go. 3-second time penalty for Austin. So now, Rad2, it's on him now. He can't make any more mistakes. He can't get as Skunk gets another 3-second time penalty. But Rad2 can't make any more mistakes now. Can't afford to get another penalty because he's got a little bit of a rabbit's foot. Austin's been making a little bit of mistakes, and it's been helping him. So we'll have to wait and see how this still changes, because we've still only got 5 laps left. So anything can happen in 5 laps. And especially around Canada, I mean...
There's the 3-second time penalty!
He gets his 4th 30-second time penalty, so now it's not over yet. It's not over yet for that podium position. Austin's still in it. It's why you never give up in these instances, but man, we must be cursing these guys. I think we just gotta stop talking about the drivers in general, because every time we talk about someone, something bad happens to them, and here we go. Here's Enable now.
Let's see.
Is it worth it though? Is it worth it changing to a drier compound tire? Because we got
early enough.
4 to go right now.
I think I would change. There's Dion.
You really think so? I mean, if you're VTEC, you can afford it.
Because you still got 4 laps. If it's dry enough,
if you're VTEC, you can definitely afford it. You got 30 seconds. Right.
I think you only give up. Yeah, you would give up like 18 seconds because we're in the dry. I would say, I don't know. I think
Dion,
if VTEC goes
Dion's
off,
in the hypers.
Completely missed that.
Oh, Skunk goes very wide at the hairpin. He is definitely losing grip. I don't know if you saw that, but I just flipped him and he went way wide.
Justin gets a time penalty.
I think
Skunk might be going to has pulled out to another 6-second advantage. So now Riot 2's got 3rd place.
Skunk in the pits. Skunk is in the pits now on the dry tires. It's still kind of damp though. I wonder what these guys can do with these dry tires. Gonna go into hypers, I can imagine. Oh, he's got a stop-go penalty, but wait, was it stop-go? He was lagging a little bit on my screen. Was that? No, it wasn't. He just lagged in the pits there for a moment. I thought he had a stop-go.
See what Midnight does. He's gonna stay out.
Now, Midnight hasn't got a penalty yet, but I don't think that should really affect Skunk. Because Skunk has 6 seconds of penalties. He shouldn't be too much of a threat.
Austin pits from 4th.
This is all heating up now. Austin into the pits.
Justin will stay out.
When I can imagine it'll be hyper soft tire. Let's watch the gap for 2nd and 1st, because this will be the real decider, and see whether or not these tires are make the difference. But look at that. Skunk VTEC has already gained 0.5 of a second in the past second of me being on Earth. There's definitely an advantage right now.
The past second. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to go for there. I was trying to say something, but that wouldn't make sense. What I was trying to say didn't make sense at all, so, yeah. Look at that. Risen Midnight's already not gained. He's lost a second already. Hypers are the way to go. But the question is if Austin can gain all those places back. He's got 3 laps to go. He's got 3 laps. Past Justin and Riot 2. If they don't pit, at least.
VTech gets the best lap.
There you go.
know,
18.9. It just shows 2/10 quicker than what he had in the wet inters, which shows how, I mean, it's still not optimal conditions for these tires yet. They're about, I don't know, 8 seconds slower than what they would be in perfect conditions. But hey, nevertheless, you gotta be on the faster tire, and he's definitely showing it right now. Leaves Justin not pitting, Raitu not pitting. It's down to Austin now to gain all this time on these two guys to get a potential podium position as he gets a fast lap with an 18.9. And you'll see with these guys, he's on the ultras actually. Very interesting. And I believe he's thinking that the harder compound tire will make me faster in these damper conditions because it's cooler track surface, so they should be faster. That's probably why you got the fast lap. Other than conditions probably getting drier, but very, very interesting call there. Now the question is if he's gonna regret this decision, if he can catch that Leaf Justin as Skunk does a 16.3, gaining over 2.5 seconds from what he previously did. And it's just getting drier and drier. There's just proof there. Look at him, he's more confidence into that first chicane in the first sector. He can almost hold it flat in that right-hander. It's definitely getting dry. The dry tire, the Hypersofts, or any dry tire compound is the way to go at this point. As he's actually on his final lap, so I'll have you take it away.
Yes, sir. 1 lap to go for Skunk VTech. Has led this entire race. True dominance, flag to flag. Everyone thought that VTech would come into China with a lot of fire, and he definitely did. And no difference from last week to this week except his qualifying position. He's gonna start on pole, he's gonna finish on pole, and most of all, he's going to be the championship contender to look out for. Skunk VTech is going to win here at Canada.
A fantastic, fantastic result for the Frenchman. Just an amazing job. There you go, battle for fourth right here. Austin going to dive it up the inside of Leaves Justin. He's got the inside line. He's got the better tire. He's got everything he needs. And he's got it. And he's going to get the DRS too.
Midnight across the line in second. Raitu across the line in third. Now it's going to be a race for fourth. Austin, barring no time penalties, he's going to make the pass at the end and finish in fourth. Justin in fifth. Entertaining down to the wire. What a race. Jupe gets another time penalty, unfortunately. He's going to keep this thing slow. He's going to cross the line in sixth place with a missing front wing. If Dion can catch him, it might be enough. It might be enough to get sixth place. He's powering off the final turn. We'll see if he's able to get the position.
No, not quite, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so, but congratulations.
Oh, he gets seventh. Austin, that was a risk he did at the end of the race, and unfortunately didn't get the podium he thought he would have. And you got to think maybe if he did stay out, he would have potentially gotten that podium, but we may never know.
How about that? Every single race this season, we've had somebody new on the podium, and that'll continue here at the end of Canada.
What I find very interesting about this podium is you're going to see here, I'm been giving rewards. Yeah, here we go.
Woo!
2000 XP. All right, here we go. That's what I'm talking about. What you're going to find here is, for one, that Arisen has had no penalties. He gets a gold star. Like Skunk is actually, I believe he's French. He may be from Jamaica. But the podium finishers, there's not a single American on the podium, which is very interesting. That's the first time I think that's happened in Shake and Bake history. So that is a very interesting statistic here. Skunk VTech, the winner of your Canadian Grand Prix, risen midnight in P2, his third second place finish in a row, and Riot2 getting his first podium ever with a third place finish. A great result for him. Austin in fourth. Leafs Justin, his second race, and fifth to hometown native. Pretty decent result for him. Even after those first few mistakes, Liljub sixth and Dion in seventh are your finishers.
What I find interesting about this race is 7 of the top 8, all on different teams. The only guys to finish in the top 8 from the same manufacturer, the same constructor, were the Ferrari boys.
That is a very, very interesting statistic there. It just shows as well just how also the Constructors' Championship, which we don't talk a lot, how that is also all up in the loop. It's just there's a lot of variety in what teams finish where. It's kind of unpredictable at this point. And since McLaren, I believe as well is hasn't been racing the past 2 races, you got to think where they're at in the championship. So just a lot of championship fights going on. It's this season is already set to be. It already is, but it's set to be a very memorable one, that's for sure.
Alrighty, so now it's time to begin our interviews. Just to make sure you guys in first, second, and third, make sure to have your audio included in the stream, so then we can actually hear you, or the stream people can actually hear you as the washer goes off. But people watching the broadcast can actually hear you, because we had a situation in Monaco where someone didn't do that. Fantastic, but luckily I think all you guys have in the past, so you guys know the drill. All right, so first I'm going to interview our third place finisher and first time podium runner, Riot2 88. First of all, congratulations on your third. What is going through your mind right now? You did a good job throughout that entire section of just making those moves at the beginning of the race by Duke, by all these other drivers to get that third place finish. But I'd like to ask you a question here. We were coming down to the final laps of that race. Did it ever cross your mind of the option to make a pit stop and go to dry tires and maybe pick up time from there? Good work out there. Like I said before, you did an amazing job to hold off one of our veterans in the sport, Tactical Austin. So anyways, next week is Baku. This was a race route last year where only 2 people finished. One of them was a Renault. There you go. But how are you going to approach that race? Because it's going to be a tough one. Playing the long game, guys. You heard it here. It's going to be very key throughout the rest of this season, and we've already seen it in the first 4 races. So, once again, congratulations on your third. Good time talking to you. And now, Lucky Dog, take it away with our runner-up.
All right. So, first of all, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but congratulations to all the podium finishers here. And a special congratulations to Midnight for getting his third runner-up finish in a row, if I'm sure. So great job to you here today. Once again, had another didn't have the best qualifying, but you were able to bounce back from that and get a second place finish. So just take us through your whole race and like what was your mindset after qualifying? Was that done intentionally? Because it seems like you're not much of a qualifying specialist.
Um, well, my qualifying pace is never that strong. My race pace is a lot better. I try to focus on being as consistent as I can in the race rather than just saying the fastest lap. I ran my wet setup, my full wet setup, because I figured I could go a lot faster when it started raining heavy, and especially knowing that on these tire compounds, my pace wouldn't be as strong this weekend. And I tried to not get any time penalties. I think I was the only driver on the grid to not have a time penalty that actually finished, so that's always good. Towards the end of the race, or maybe mid, when Riot 2 started to get started to get a bit closer to me, I just tried to manage that gap. Some people would have said that I should have pushed or tried to push to get to Skunk, but he's going 9 times faster than me, and the guy behind me is catching me. I'm just trying to manage that gap and see what goes from there. When I knew he had a 3 second or 6 second time penalty, um, I just tried to relax as much as I could. Not go too fast, don't push myself to make a mistake, and yeah, I ended up getting second place.
Yeah, great job. Great whole race. You've just been, you've been very silent the whole race. But then again, we're not really too surprised that um, you're performing like this. Another question too. Towards the end of the race, it started to dry out a bit. And were you at all tempted? I'm assuming you saw or had your crew chief tell you that Skunk was going to be within the pits changing his tire compounds. Were you at all influenced to do the same?
No,
Um,
be
okay.
because I was 25 seconds, 30 seconds behind him. He has the option to switch to the hybrid softs to change to the tires. I don't, because there's somebody 4 seconds behind me. Even with the
Right.
penalty, I just didn't want to lose any time, so it was never a thought.
Right. Well, yeah, I think I definitely understand your point of view there. I think, with that kind of gap, you don't want to risk it. Um,
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to say the same thing. It's been a trend here. Baku is the next circuit on the calendar. So what are your thoughts about that circuit? Do you have any high hopes for there?
Um, Baku's a pretty fun track. The castle section is always nice because that's when people usually mess up.
Yeah.
Tire compounds are harder, so I'll probably have a better pace. I enjoy the harder tires. Gonna try to just be as cautious as I can at the start. Baku doesn't really have any run up, so uh,
Right.
there's probably gonna be a few accidents, maybe at the first or second turn. Just try to keep doing what I've been doing and get consistent podiums. Not try to push to win because I know that eventually it's gonna happen. I just have to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's the mindset you
Yeah.
got to have for these races. You can't always push 24/7. Sometimes you just got to keep what you have and then work with it. So, yeah, very great race from you here today. Definitely be a threat, potentially, around Baku. And good luck for the next one. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so here is Skunk VTech now. Just did an amazing job the whole race. I'm going to read off what he sent here because his English isn't very strong. But won by, from what I believe was 20-second gap. He said that he loves the Canadian, he loves the Circuit de Villeneuve here at Canada, and he definitely proved that here today with a pretty sizable gap to second place in qualifying and his fantastic performance in the wet. He's trying his best not to crack under pressure, tried his best not to make too many mistakes, and also try to get a good start, which he did a very good job at. Because some of these guys here are racing with traction control. I'm pretty sure he races without that. Did a great job there as well. And he also, his opinions on Baku, he hates the track. So he doesn't like that track. But he's gonna try and let that not get to his head and gonna try to do the best he can to get another win. So that's his thoughts on the whole race and on the next week's race. Yeah, take it away, BDF.
Thank
You
you.
can definitely tell that VTech is no joke, and he is ready to go out there and win more races and possibly win a championship. Speaking of which, I'm going to direct you guys to the point standings. Risen Midnight and Tactical Austin, 2 drivers without a win this season. First and second in their respective constructors. Midnight with 69 points, how ironic. And Austin is 12 points behind the leader. Then we have the 2 VTech and KSI, the 2 drivers that have won races this year. They've only ran 2 races, but they've both won their 2 races. So we'll have to see what happens if both of them race together for the same week at once and see if they can close down the front 2.
That's going to be awesome.
2, with an amazing run out there in 5th. He has now got a 3-point cushion over Duke the Rebel. Another disappointing week on his standards, I would imagine. He's going to be looking to turn that around if he can. Dion 4 Dub, probably the story of the year. He's up in 7th, doing a lot better than he probably expected. He's just been able to run consistently week after week, finish them races and get them points. In 8th, we have Hellas here, repping Mercedes. The other Mercedes got a podium at Monaco, but hasn't made a lot of the races, so that's why he's kind of in the back. Then 9th, tied for 9th, is Jupe and Recon. Recon a little bit on the struggle side of these races, and Jupe has only raced in 2 of them, but he's had he has top 7s in both of them. Deluxe Cord in 11th, just unlucky for him in some of these races, especially today at Canada. Had a lot of speed, just didn't end the way he wanted. Spec in 12th, after a solid run at China. I think it was a 5th. He did race this week, nor did J-Mac. Justin in a tie for 13th with J-Mac. Had a very nice run in 5th place. I think if the race ended 1 lap prior, he would have had 4th there and probably would have jumped up to where Recon is now. But nonetheless, good race for him in real steel. Unfortunate. He was looking to make the race today, but just a internet problem and not a very good race at China for him. So he is sitting 15th. Look for that to change if he's able to race in the future. Anyways, you guys on the screen, here are the results for the race. Good job by all the drivers out there. Next week we head to Baku. It's going to be a real difficult one for sure. Only 2 drivers finished their last season, as I previously noted, and we've had a lot of rain races. If it rains in Baku, I won't be surprised if no one finishes the race, because that's just how it's been throughout the season. But anyways, those are my final words. How about you, Lucky?
Yeah, I can't wait for Baku. Unfortunately, I won't be here because I've got other priorities to go to, unfortunately. So I can't attend the race to commentate, but I'll be sure to watch back the stream. I'm sure it's going to be a good one. Baku always provides great, entertaining races. Hopefully, we'll be having more than 2 drivers finish the race. I'm sure we will. There's a lot of great drivers on the grid here, and especially those who finished on the podium today. So, don't be surprised to see a lot of overtaking. We have a very long start-finish straight where a lot of passes can be made. And just stay tuned, and we're going to have a really good fight for the lead, I think, as well, between KSI and Skunk. There's just a lot of things to look out for. Hopefully we'll have a lot of people racing next time.
Yes, of course, that's always the hope that we have. I know there's going to be a few disappointed people, and there's going to be a few delighted people after this race. Anyways, that is the conclusion of the Canadian Grand Prix. It looks like we had a solid amount of viewers this week, more than what we usually get. So thanks to you guys out there in the chat. I appreciate it. Sorry I couldn't read all your messages because, my problems with the stream and yeah. But anyways,
Okay,
as I
guys.
noted earlier,
Good
next
night.
week is Baku.
Thank you.
No
Yeah,
problem, VTech.
Next week.
No problem.
See you guys.
Good racing out there for y'all. But yeah, next
Bye.
week, Saturday at 7:30. We're going to go to Baku, and I'm probably going to be by myself in the booth because somebody's got to go to a play. But anyways,
Oh. It's a,
I had
it's
to
a
say
big,
it.
it's a kind of a big part. All right, it's kind of a big part. All right, it's important. I can't miss it. It's my one opportunity, man. I got some lines. Gotta be enthusiastic. Gotta really play the part out. I mean, just gotta do what I gotta do, man. It's important.
Good.
Sorry. All
You're
right.
good.
Cool.
I've missed in league races for dumber things in the past.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyways,
I mean, I won't. There won't be any shenanigans next week before the race, so that's unfortunate. But we'll see about that. I don't know.
we'll see. No thorns. But anyways, I am
Ah.
BF48 Gaming, commentator, partner,
We're gonna have to-
EPR Lucky Dog, and we are signing out. Take care, guys.